Hey guys, we're back. We're just getting organised, sorting out the technology. Welcome back to the Best Practice Show. I'm on my side apparently. Again, technical issues. Here we go. Is this working? Hello everybody. Just reorientate the Earth. Is this the time when I say gravity sucks? Didn't work? Hey, there we go. That works.
Oh, that was bad.
How are we going? No joy?
Yeah,
It's just portrait.
semi-joyful.
It's all right. We'll live with that. Hey, it wouldn't be a live episode of Best Practice if we didn't have technical difficulties. All right, let's go. So are we all good to go? So hey guys, we're just sorting out some technical difficulties. Welcome back to Best Practice. Welcome to Ask Best Practice. We're bringing back the show for 2020. We've just finished the amazing 2020 Vision Business Summit. It was 2 weeks ago now. Huge amount of hype coming off the back of that summit. Lots of questions. The Q&A went really well. Lots of questions for the speakers. So that sort of spurred us on to bring back and listen to you and listen to what you guys really want help with. Just a massive shout out to Luke and Vanessa. I've got them here in the studio with me, helping with comments, helping with laptops, helping with technology so that we can answer your questions and give you guys a hand. I've got some questions that have been sent to me direct message on LinkedIn, so I've got my iPhone here to help with that. I'll jump into that. I've got some material I'm going to talk to you guys about, some new stuff this morning. So when you guys are all happy, then I'll start getting into it. Hey, in the comments, guys that are watching, in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. We had people from all over the world. I think we got some people dialing in from Uganda this morning, some people from Texas in the United States. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what's going on. Luke's just tweaking settings and then I'll get stuck into it. So what I want to do with you guys is really give you guys as much quality time as I possibly can. I have got a hard out at the 1 hour mark, so I've to move on to the next meeting. So I'll do as much as I can for you in the next 35 minutes I think we've got left. Is that right? Just looking at the clock. Yeah, about 35 minutes. No, we've got an hour. We've got 55 minutes. Sorry, I'm getting the clock behind you guys has stopped. So all right, so we've got 55 minutes. We're on time. Sorry, I thought we were running late. So what I do want to do is get into a good cadence with you guys with answering these questions, giving you this opportunity. We're going to try and do this fortnightly, but if it doesn't happen fortnightly, I guarantee it'll be monthly. If you check out the latest edition of Infinite Magazine, we've had a rebrand of our magazine up here on the shelf. Infinite Magazine, if you haven't seen this, so you can download a copy of this from the Training Academy. We'll drop the link in the comments for you guys watching. Hello in Newcastle, hello in Virginia, James and Barbara. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, you can get yourself, I think, is that correct? This has been uploaded now. So you can get the soft copy of Infinite Magazine. If you want to get on the mailing list of the hard copy of the magazine, send us a direct message and we'll try to get you a special copy. We've got they're all going out in the snail mail post. Beautiful stock. It's a lovely edition with some great articles, book reviews. And in the back is the dates, as always, the dates over here on this page. Where am I? This page. Over here with the dates for when we're going live monthly, but I really want to help you guys. So, hey Ashley, so I really want you guys to use this time. So you guys that are practicing there, getting in the comments. Yes, James, that's correct. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's exactly right. It is literally, the clock in the studio is 7:55. So thanks, James. Trinidad, hey Ronald. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, let me know where you're watching from. Let's use those comments. I'm here for you guys. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about just to get obviously the conversation going. The first thing I think it's really topical, obviously right now, is the COVID-19 coronavirus discussion. There's a huge amount of obviously fear and anxiety around the world, specifically in the context of business. And I really want to talk to that from our perspective. As a CEO of this organization, I'm concerned about my people and my staff. And, we're going to have a pretty robust discussion about our international travel after this live broadcast for you guys. And specifically, it affects Vanessa and I. we planned to visit a conference in San Diego in California in 3 weeks' time, and that conference is doing their best to continue to operate. But I know that the conferences each side of that one at the same venue have been cancelled, but the conference we were going to go to is continuing to run. They're trying to put hygiene practices in place. They have blocked a number of people from different provinces or countries from going to that event. And from my perspective, there's a perception that those countries are higher risk. So Australia, we would be traveling from Sydney, Australia, across to Los Angeles, and then transferring down to San Diego. And Australia hasn't been blocked in terms of actually traveling, but the other countries have. But the people from those countries have been able to enter our country. So, hey, Siegfried. Hey, let me know where you're watching from and say hello. So I think what I want you guys to consider, first and foremost, how do you help your organizations to continue to operate? Just so you're aware, this format that we're running for you guys right now is using a mobile application. So most of you are watching from an iPhone. We're using the latest model iPhone using the YouTube app or the YouTube Live app on that iPhone, and it's literally sitting on a small tripod in a table in front of me. So we're able to broadcast to thousands of people around the world via our YouTube channel and still convey the same information. So just because there is both a physical risk that you could contract, the virus, there's also the ability to continue to be really smart about how you continue to operate your business. We've been doing these live broadcasts now for 5 years, every month consistently for 5 years, helping you guys with this content. And I just want you to understand that in terms of where you sit in your organizations, you can continue to work very easily and very practically with technology, specifically cloud technology. So this is a live broadcast. There might be a couple of second delay, but I want you to understand that you can do this. Hello from Melbourne, for everybody watching, and Queensland. Thanks for joining us. So I just want you to understand that, we've got, this morning I've just come straight out of a meeting with somebody who is 1,000 kilometers away. So my assistant, Caitlin Gunning, she helps me. She's my executive assistant, manages my calendar, manages my meetings. So Caitlin and I work really well together, yet we're 1,000 kilometers apart. So she's texting me, she's emailing me, she's managing my calendar. She's doing all that. She's doing all that great stuff for me. And we've just had a Google Hangout. So we use Google Hangouts here and Google Chat. And so, I want you guys to, to understand that, that you can continue to work. And so I think this, while it's really great and lots of people saying, we need to have personal connections, we need to meet each other and shake hands, at a moment like this, when there is a risk, there's a perceived risk in terms of the virus, but then there's also this other anxiety out in the marketplace. I just want you to say, you know what, okay, that's happening. Let's just continue to move on. Let's just continue to work. So don't let it's the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's being created in the marketplace right now in business is designed, it's almost like the negative people have taken over. So the pessimistic versus optimistic people. So right now, pessimistic people have got control of the global conversation, and we need to switch that to the optimistic people. Because I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll just fucking get on with it. And I apologize for my swearing, but we're just going to continue to get on and run our business. Okay, so it means that I'm potentially not going to get on an airplane and go to a conference where I'm going to physically meet people, but I'm still going to try to achieve 3 of my 5 strategic objectives. My main strategic objective was to go to that conference to learn information. I can still achieve that objective. My second one was to work closely with my team around getting alignment. We can still achieve that. My third one was to get positive outcomes for the business that is specifically going to help you. I can still achieve that. Can I go and network and meet new people? No. Can I consume the information from the conference? Yes, I can, because they're recording all the presentations. So the 2 things I'm going to miss out on is physically going to the location and physically bumping into other attendees at the conference. Okay, but I can still achieve, if there's 6 strategic objectives, I can still achieve 4 of those. I'm going to continue to operate my business. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm not going to let this slow me down. I want you to be thinking about that for the organizations that you work for. So yes, you can write the policy that says that, okay, everybody's going to work from home so we don't spread the virus and contaminate each other, but don't let it stop you operating your business. In fact, take it as an opportunity to be more efficient and improve the organization. And so, in the same way that I work really closely with my assistant, Caitlin, and we're working really well together over the last 2 weeks, and that's really helped me increase my capacity. She's living where her life has taken her to a different place. And so I really want you to understand that, okay, let's just be really smart about how we can continue to do business. So just like you guys are watching this from all over the world, from Sydney, places here in Australia, I can see on the comments there, I can see 3 different places that are 1,000 kilometers apart in Australia. You guys watching from the United States. I know there's people watching from Uganda. I know there's people watching from Trinidad. You guys are all watching. It's live right now, and we're having quality time together. So get into those comments there right now. Give me a shout and say hello, and also get your questions ready. So I want you to convey this out to the business that this is not an excuse to stop, because pessimistic people right now are looking for excuses to not work, and it's not because of the virus, it's because they hate their job. And they're looking for every excuse to stop and, I can't work right now. They throw their hands up and sit back. It's up to the leaders of organizations to continue to say, no, we're here to do a great job. We're going to, our passion here at Best Practice is to continue to help you guys grow your businesses, solve your challenges, look after your problems. And right now, while there's a global epidemic going on, it's a knee-jerk reaction. So let me know where you're watching from. Comment there below. I've got some questions. This is the live show that we really want to answer your questions, deal with the topical issues that are going right on. How are you guys going? Technical issues? All good. Okay. Now, I want to segue across to a piece of new knowledge that I wanted to talk about, and that is the business hierarchy of needs. Let me know in the comments, yes or no, if you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So just comment for me so I can see who's engaged and who's listening. Vanessa's just turned her laptop around so I can see the screen. If you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I want to introduce, hello from Miami, Alberto, welcome. So we've got people from all over the world today. This is excellent. Thank you very much for investing your time today in your knowledge. Well done. I appreciate the effort you guys are putting into your learning and development, having a really open growth mindset today. So I wanted to introduce you guys today to the business hierarchy of needs. It follows very closely the initial information of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, I've been doing some research into this. It's a concept that's not at a point where it's found some common application. There's still a few different variations of the hierarchy of needs. So I'm giving you some management philosophy that probably is not going to find its way into mainstream corporate for probably another 2 years. So you guys are hearing this information early. So, hey, Josh, if you haven't heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, just maybe open another tab and do a quick Google search so you can see what I'm talking about. It's around human needs. So what we're talking about is the business hierarchy of needs. Now, in levels, I'll just quickly give it to you. At the bottom level of the business hierarchy of needs is sales, then profit, then order, then impact, then legacy. Now, if you're trying to grow your organization and get it organized and build systems and policies and quality systems and all the stuff we talk about at Best Practice, that's order. If the sales or the profit runs out from an organizational perspective, then everybody drops down and says, we got to focus on sales. Or you do redundancies because we don't have enough profit. We let people go, we fire people. And so what the business hierarchy of needs says is we need to focus on sales and bringing in cash flow and customers. Then we need to focus on profitability so we don't have a mortality event like the business closes because it can't meet its obligations to pay its bills and suppliers. But if we get sales right, profit right, then we can start to bring order and we can bring efficiency and growth and productivity into the organization. Then we can focus on having an impact. Then we can focus on legacy. But you can't have an impact if you've got no money. You can't have an impact if you go broke. In fact, you'll have a negative impact. So if the organization closes because it has a mortality event, because it's not running profitable goods and services out into the market, then you can see how everything collapses down. Like you guys literally, if you lose your job, you might have a great job that has an impact on people and you love helping people, but if you're made redundant or you'll lose your source of income, you go and focus on, actually, I need money to live, then I can go and have an impact. We hear about people like Bill Gates is a classic example. Bill Gates is trying to have massive impact out in the world right now because he's got his money, his profitability, and his order, that's all organized. And so he doesn't have to worry about money anymore, so he can go and have an impact. So the business hierarchy of needs from a small business all the way up to large businesses, I'm starting to see why there's this common question. The most frequently asked question on this YouTube channel and in all of our social media, in all of the lessons is, how do I get leadership buy-in? How do I get top management's attention? How do I get them to buy into it? What I just wanted to draw your attention to with the hierarchy of needs is that we're focusing on trying to bring order to chaos, and top management are focusing on sales and profitability. They're like, how do we actually have sustainable cash flow and sustainable sales and sustainable customers in our business? Then how do we ensure that we continue to maintain profitability? Then we can bring order. And what I find is that a lot of people, with the right intent, you are focusing on trying to bring order to the chaos and efficiency, and it's in conflict with the top management of the organization, who are just trying to make sure you've got enough money for payroll every week or fortnight or month. So I thought it was really interesting to give you guys some sort of parallel competency information. A lot of people like to go really deep onto the clauses of ISO standards and the things that we talk about here at Best Practice, building management systems, quality, safety, environment, laws, regulations, compliance. But that sits in the middle of the business hierarchy of needs. And if you have to be mindful that to support the organization, and I constantly campaign with you guys, focus on the promises you make for your customers. If you focus on the promises that you make for your customers, as you're trying to bring order and systems and processes to your company, you will actually contribute to repeat business with customers, because your system will support 5-star version of the situation and good quality customer service, which will mean you'll have repeat business. And so sales will become the foundation. Repeat business with customers will become the foundation of the business. The business can then focus on efficiency, which drives profitability, and then obviously some more order to the chaos. So I thought today that'd be a really great thing to start with, to give you guys some value. So I'm going to write some information about this. We'll put some in our magazine. We'll start dropping some information on our blog. I just want you guys to be aware that the Insights tab on our website, Alexi's out there right now, and he's actually, he's dropping 3 articles a day. So we riff a couple of times a week and we say, right, here's a bit of a thread for information each week, and we're dropping lots and lots of written articles. So if you like consuming that written information, just be aware to watch the Insights tab on our website. We're going to be doing some work of bestpractice.biz. The website's going to be, Caitlin and Vanessa are working on updating the bestpractice.biz website over the next couple of weeks, so we can strengthen the information that we've got. So you guys who don't know, we've got 3 businesses here. We've got a recruitment company called Best Practice Talent. We've got our business coaching company called Next Practice, and we've got Best Practice Certification, which does ISO systems. And so what we're trying to do with bestpractice.biz is just fix the website so you guys can understand a bit more about what we do, and then also understand how I'm trying to actually talk to each of those customer groups, if you like, in these live streams. Okay, I really want to help you guys with your questions. Welcome from Chile. Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? So we got people from all over the world. So absolutely fantastic. So those comments there, this is the time to ask questions. I also want to let you know that we've got a text number. So if you want to text in questions, if you sort of want to be a little bit anonymous, if you like, I've turned off the comments on my LinkedIn right now. So my phone's on Do Not Disturb, so it doesn't ring. So we've got a special number for internationals. So I think the international dialing code for Australia is 0011. Is that right? I think it's 0011. So the number here is +61 429 183 562. So +61 429 183 562. It's a cell number or a mobile number here in Australia. So if you're in Australia, 0429 183 562 is the number. Text in your questions or comment on where you're watching. So I'm here to help you guys with the questions. I've got a question this morning. So Herbert has texted me quite early this morning on LinkedIn. I'll just quickly find that. Okay, we've got that here. So his question was, it's ISO related, so it's bringing order to chaos related. I just got a client who's got a major non-conformance where their manual hasn't clearly identified all the clauses of the ISO 9001 standard. And what he's basically asking me is, can we do away with the quality manual and all the policies and manuals in the company and use a social media platform or an intranet or company website to show evidence of guidance and documentation to our audience? And I said to Herbert, I've already responded, but I said to him 100% yes. We need to be considering our audience. We need to be considering the people in our organization. I've observed that humans and you, the people that are watching, and myself, I don't tend to go to, paper-based instruction manuals for my guidance and advice. Over the last 10 years of running this business, I get more information from doing a quick Google search to solve a problem than I do looking at our company systems and processes and what's been written. I've become myself tuned in to very quickly finding information and seeing a couple of different Google results to be able to answer my questions. So if that's my human behavior, I won't naturally tend to go and want to find a policy or a procedure to find out how to do or fix something in this company. And so what I've been campaigning for the last 15 years is that says to me, don't invest in writing lots of policies and procedures and manuals in your company, because it's not the natural way that you will go to solve problems. Think about the natural way that you go to solve problems. You will go to the internet and do a search. And so when you want to serve information on or about your company, I want you to go to an intranet site. And then you want to start to think about the audience in your organization and how they've been brought up. So Luke, as an example here, who's helping me in the studio, Luke is he's 18 years old. He hasn't grown up in an environment where there's been policies and systems and procedures and lots of black and white text on paper, printed and put on folders on shelves in offices. He's grown up in an environment when he wants to solve a problem, he does a search on YouTube or he does a search on Google. Google is the most frequently visited page or website on the internet. The second most visited page or website on the internet is YouTube. And we really want to understand that the people in our organization are humans, and humans have been retrained in modern society to go to the internet to solve their problems and find out answers to questions. So your goal as a leader or an influencer in your organization is to serve information in the place, in the format that your audience wants to consume it. I don't want to hear, or I would like to help you with auditors who are saying, no, you must have a quality manual. If you're here to listen about ISO standards, I want you to understand that you want to be thinking about today for the next 5 years, not what was successful 20 years ago. For somebody who is 9 years old right now, my son is 9 years old, what is he going to be doing 10 years from now? He's not even going to be looking at paper. There probably won't even be printers in our house or in our offices. We just won't be using paper anymore. We will be using various systems, search-based systems. So I know it's harder to produce a wiki site or an intranet site or put copy on that's got search functionality, but that is the future. And not only that, the future is potentially voice. So 10 years from now, your management systems will be voice-based responses. The AI that you will have in your organization will be voice-based. And so we really want to be thinking about video as a starting point to record messages from your leadership team, how to do things in your organization, your management systems. We want to be using these formats because the thing about video is it gives my body language, it gives my vocal tone, it gives my facial expression. And as we're taking in information, we're getting all those elements in our subconscious to actually listen to the message and actually feel more confident. So you guys feel more confident with what I'm saying right now because your subconscious is reading my eye contact, it's reading my body language, it's reading my vocal tone, it's reading my breath, it's reading my energy, and I'm projecting my energy all over the world right now to give you guys some confidence to take this step. So I want you to think about that. This could be a management system on how to actually build management systems, and you guys are getting confidence from that, and I'm also getting you to think. So in my script here, if you like, I'm using question marks, and I'm saying, have a think about, or what do you think a modern management system in 10 years might look like? I very deliberately phrased what I said just then as a question to actually get your computer, your engine, your brain to actually start thinking about that. What do you think would be the most influential style of communication that you could use in your organization to get your people doing what they need to do? What is the best way for you to motivate your people to all get on board and actually be running to a common vision, mission, and purpose? What's a great way to energize and motivate your people in your business? What's a great way to give your people instruction? What's the fastest way to help people find what they need to do their job? Those are all the questions. So I don't want you guys to keep showing up and sort of show up and throw up with lots of documentation. And unfortunately, in that instance, that question, that auditor of that organization has got, 20-year-old thinking. I really want you to be thinking about if you are partnering with an organization like an auditing company or a certification company for things like quality assurance or business improvement, you want to be partnering someone who's leading you to the future, like these sorts of conversations, not someone that's holding you back. You're going to have people entering your workforce that are younger and younger every year. You're going to be having, there's new entrants to your business every year that have come from a different learning environment. They've come from an environment where there's social media. When I started this business, Facebook didn't exist. When I started this business, Facebook didn't exist. It's become a key part of how we operate this business. We have a private secret Facebook group that provides energy, motivation, instruction, guidance, messaging, communication into our organization. Where we used to have 15 years ago a company meeting, we now just put a live broadcast out in a private secret Facebook group. That's how we communicate. So I want you guys to understand that those modern methodologies will become the way of the future. Okay, question. Yes, exactly right. Someone just mentioned balanced scorecard. Absolutely, you are correct. We want to be thinking about balanced scorecard, and we want to be thinking at our strategic outcomes and how do we get to that, not actually this is a format that we need to follow. Okay, have we got any questions? So use the comments there for questions, or if you want to text in a message, our number here is +61 429 183 562. And I think if you want a text message or a cell message internationally, I think it's 0011 +61 429 183 562 or 0011 61 429 183 562. So if you want to send a message, I've got that here on a sticky note. Let's have a look at the questions. Okay. Hello, everybody from, did I see someone from Morocco? Welcome back. I got a question. For designing a business plan, it's necessary developments to 3 years. My company only have 2 years in August 2020. We're going to get certified to ISO 9001. Excellent. Getting certified to ISO 9001 in August. That's excellent. Look, here's the thing about business plans. I honestly have no idea where we're going to be in 3 years' time. It's really hard to predict. I have set myself a destination on the map, if you like. So I definitely am thinking the direction we want to go. So if you think about a map, and if you think about you want to go from a journey from one destination to the other, I think it's really important to think, over the next 2 years, here's where we would like to get to, or over the next 3 years, here's where we would like to get to. Really, it comes down to the team and saying to the team, roughly what direction do we want to go? Because it might take you some time to get there. And so if you need to say, well, why would you have a business plan that's 3 years or 4 years or 5 years? It's going to take us time to get to our destination. And so you give yourself a plan because it's a bit of a slower journey. You can say, well, we need 5 years to get there. But if where you want to go, you can get there quite quickly, then you could say, well, our 2-year plan. So I think a 2-year plan can have some really sort of micro steps to it, but a 5-year plan is really going to be, overestimating, 10xing the idea in terms of where you want to go, but being real about how far you can get. And there is a saying that says that don't overestimate what you can do in a year, don't underestimate what you can do in 10 years. So, there's no formal requirement to have a 2 or a 3 or a 5-year business plan, but definitely be specific about 2 years, if that makes sense. We do it 1 year in advance here. We have a 10-year vision. So we have a one-page business plan. It has a 10-year vision, some 5-year goals, and then it has 1 year in terms of like half the page is what we're doing in 1 year. So, and then we support that with a budget, and then we have very specific quarterly goals that chunk it down in terms of where we want to go. So I hope that helps. Good luck on your journey to August 2020 with your ISO 9001 certification. Keep consuming our content. I think Vanessa's going to post a link to a little booklet, that the best practice ebook that we've got, that can help you understand what to focus on from a certification perspective. But just be mindful of those, those hierarchy of needs. Sounds like some text messages coming in. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, that comment there from Jimmy. Yes, the Gary V of Business Best Practice. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but you're aware that I've been getting mentored by Gary V. So I've just been on a 7-day program with Gary Vaynerchuk, becoming a good friend. 2 days in Sydney, 2 days in London, and 3 days in New York. And then that spun off into some really interesting stuff. So through, we're working on a side project where I might start contributing to, or I hope to start contributing to their blog, 137pm.com. So if you haven't checked out or aren't following 137pm.com, hopefully we've put it out there to start contributing to that. So thank you very much for the kind words. But yes, we're modeling what we're doing on what Gary Vaynerchuk is doing. It's really about helping you guys as best as we can. And that's what this is doing, is that, like, I have found that it's much easier for me to produce content by asking questions and getting you guys to comment in. So let me know what I can help with. If you've got a specific question, how can we use social media more effectively to help inside business? This is a really good example of that. Right now I've got 2 iPhones in front of me. We're recording this for the podcast, so we'll drop this out on the podcast platform. So if you weren't aware, and if you are a podcast user or listener, the Kobe Simmet audio experience will drop the audio. So this microphone here right in front of me is for the podcast. So we give you high quality audio content. So I'm just hoping to help you on any platform that you like. Let's get to some more questions. Everybody's happy? Okay, I've got another LinkedIn question. Let me just quickly go through this one. What do I need to be a lead auditor for ISO 14001, 45001, 9001? Okay, for those guys that are interested in doing more auditing work, the question is, what do you need? And then the question is, what are the essential and desirable criteria? I think it's important to understand how businesses operate, and that's why I'm trying to give you some information from a CEO's perspective. My job day to day is to manage a profit and loss statement, manage sales, manage profitability, then bring some order to the chaos with the business hierarchy of needs. And so it is important to understand context and parallel competency. I've observed a lot of people in, say, the auditing profession or in business improvement profession or in a lot of their areas go really deep on skill sets, but ignore the parallel competencies. And I think that you can deploy a lot of empathy to team members if you can understand some context around their positions and understand what they need to do and what they're working with and what their deep technical skills might be. So obviously, as you move up in an organization, you become more of a generalist. So I think the first and most important thing is to get a good handle on how businesses operate from a marketing, sales, human behavior, psychology perspective. Then you can start talking about systems and process and documentation. At the end of the day, audits are about, the verification of the business doing what it said it would do, but you really need to take the lens to the future and look to the future. Our whole purpose of doing, certification systems and audits is so that the organization has got some guidance around what it needs to do in the future when situations come up. Looks like some more questions are coming in. So hit me with those questions on YouTube. So as a lead auditor, we are specifically building out a masterclass. There are a number of organizations around the world that run, auditor training, like lead auditor training. I'm seeing that training becoming less and less effective in actually helping organizations into the future. I think as an auditor, yes, you want to give some sense of, I verified that the company is using their system. So the company said, here are some issues and risks that might come up. Here are the controls that we're going to implement. And then as an auditor, you're really going to say, well, are you being careful in how you operate? Are you preventing the things coming up that might happen? And are you doing a good or bad job of that? Because in the future, those things are going to continue to come up. And if you don't do them, you're going to fail. So really, an auditor is about fail prevention in the future. But we lose sight of that and we say, you've been really bad, slap on the back of the hand, you didn't follow your systems and processes. My observations over my career is that typically because business moves so fast, that systems and processes don't get updated. And so we spend our whole time in this perpetual cycle of updating systems and process and policy and procedure that doesn't truly reflect business in the future anyway. So what I want you guys to think about is what are the things that might come up in the future and what do we need to do to prevent that? That's what you're going to verify, that people get trained, communicated, and that everybody knows what they need to do to prevent things going wrong in the future. And really that's the focus point. You can do a 5-day lead auditor course. You can do, we have a management systems auditor course. I think at the moment the title's wrong, we're fixing it in the process, but we have an internal auditor course that you can do on our training website. So you can go to bestpracticeeducation.com.au, click the button, buy the course, and there's a big course there to help you, and it's all my insights. We've got some free webinars, obviously, on our YouTube channel. If you search through our channel, you'll find some 1-hour presentations on, my tips and tricks and hacks around auditing. So I think if you put those things together, that's what I'd be doing. I'm giving you what you need to support your leaders in your business. I'm not giving you what ticks the box for an auditor skill. So I'm trying to actually give you the value so you're really valuable, really useful in your team. I'm not focusing on meeting a set of criteria that someone made up a set of rules for an auditor course. I'm giving you the real life stuff that CEOs value, that leaders value, that managers value, so that you actually can deploy some value into your organization. So if someone is telling you you must have a mandatory course, then I'm happy to bully them into submission around, actually, I prefer you to be valuable. So I operate outside of those constraints to make sure I'm focusing on the right stuff to help you. So what do you need to be an auditor? Good quality information that's going to help the leaders in your organization to prevent things going wrong and help the organization to achieve its success goals. That's really where you want to be. And I want you to try to use the term peer reviewer rather than auditor. Here at Best Practice, we say best practice assessor. You guys are peer reviewers working with your peers in your organization to help the organization achieve its success goals. And it's often good to have a personal trainer or a coach holding people accountable. And that's really where the value gets deployed. That's why audits were invented, because they felt that people needed to be held accountable. So your role is really around accountability and support and guidance and motivation and coaching. Those are the modern 5 years from now skills that this profession morphs into. I hope I'm making some sense to help you guys. So we've built a masterclass. We haven't recorded the videos yet. We're about to get in the studio here to record all the videos, and we're going to drop that masterclass into the training academy for you guys to purchase. That's going to be all of our master material or our high value material that's come from all of our senior people here in this business. And it sits in a business coaching platform. So the modern auditor for the next 5 years is more like a business coach, more like a personal trainer at a gym that's holding people accountable, mentoring and developing people than it is a policeman. And if you want to be a policeman, this isn't the channel to be watching, because we're about achieving goals in the future. Sorry, what was the question? Okay, I get to this next question. Do you believe that business's plan has development in 1 year, after 3 year and 6 months for a little company with 5 persons? Yeah, yes. So for a small company with 5 people, your business plan just needs to be 1 page. 1 page with some really simple vision, mission, purpose, values, and then some 3-month, 6-month, and maybe 2-year goals. Really simple. Keep it that simple. So vision, mission, purpose, values, 3-month goals, 6 or 12-month goals, and then 2 or 3 year goals. That's enough for a small business. Keep it really simple. The next thing that I want you to be thinking about is, as you start in that business, operate in quarters, 90-day sprints, 12-week sprints. Operate in quarters, and ask yourself 4 questions. I cover this in the little ebook. We're going to drop that link. We're going to drop that link for everybody in the comments and email it out to everybody. But for management review, the standards talk about management review. I want you to think about, in thinking about the next 12 weeks, what does success look like? In thinking about the next 12 weeks, what could go wrong? In thinking about the next 12 weeks, what could, and thinking about the last 12 weeks, what went wrong, and what are we doing about that? So it's 4 things. In thinking about the next 12 weeks, what does success look like? What are our goals? In thinking about the last 12 weeks, what went wrong? In thinking about the next 12 weeks, what could go wrong? And what are we doing about that? If you can do that, then that's your little 3-month plan. And then you're thinking about the next 12 months, what could go wrong? So we've had some staff turnover here at Best Practice. That's something that went wrong. We weren't expecting it. They've moved on to other parts of their career. And so, to grow in their careers. And so we've probably been on the back foot in terms of recruitment here. But we are very slow to recruit because we're very specific around cultural fit, attitude, work ethic, and less about technical skills. So, that's for you guys that want to do some more stuff, then you can think about, you want to have that stuff. Do you think that ASQ auditor certification is good enough to be an ISO internal auditor, or do you have to be ISO trained specifically? I don't think ASQ auditor certification is a good thing. I think that the people that build those courses spend too much time worrying about the certification and accreditation than they do worrying about the course content and making sure that the way that the course is delivered has high impact and that gives you things to go and action and implement. So that's my frustration with modern training systems, and that's why I think that the term proudly unaccredited is very important. I would prefer that, for example, the ASQ course most likely won't talk about profitability, balance sheet, all of the stresses and strains that a CEO has, that a board has, the issues that they've got to manage. It'll just say, you go really deep on a technical skill set around clauses of the standard and interpretation of that. Now, I'm not saying that's important, but to actually be a high quality, valuable asset to the business, it's really important to be building great relationships with senior management and understanding what the issues are that they see happening and making sure your management system talks to that and your focus of your audits talks to that. Now, the standard says focus on risk and status and risk and importance, but it doesn't actually drill down and say, well, you go to top management. You say, what are you guys really worried about? What's going to keep you, go to the CEO, go to the senior leaders in the business, say, what's going to keep you awake next month? And just asking that question, you're adding value because they're like, somebody in our business actually cares what's going to keep me awake, and then I can actually get them to help me prevent those things happening. That's the whole objective of this exercise. So no, I don't like ASQ, not specifically. It's not for me. I don't ask for it. I spend a lot of time in our business focusing on the parallel competencies with our team so that they understand how to work well with management teams and how to work well with the actual risks that the organization is going to suffer the consequences of in the future, and also the goals, like saying to the CEO, what are the 3 biggest goals that you really want to achieve, and what can I do to help with that? Because I've got a special set of skills where I can go out into the business, I can coach people, mentor people, hold people accountable. It sits within the context of being a best practice assessor. I want you guys to call yourself best practice assessors in your organization if we're talking about audits, so that you can help support the organization into the future. I hope that helps. So focus less on the bit of paper and more on the value, and you will go further. I guarantee it. From all of my colleagues that are CEOs and senior business leaders, right to the top of some of the biggest organizations in the world, they're more interested in the value you've got to deploy than whether you tick a box. Frequently asked by some CEO, how much a quality management system will cost me? What kind of answer and argument should we have? Great question from Adele around how much will the quality system cost me, and what answer and argument should we have? You shouldn't have an answer and an argument. You should understand that that is the person saying, influence me. Please help me to understand how this thing adds value to my organization. So will I get more financial return than the investment I need to make? So if we're saying, can you please invest in this system? Then we're saying, how much return will I get on that investment? So you want to be thinking, when this quality management system gets built, let's say it's going to cost me $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. Am I going to get $30,000, $300,000, or $3 million as my return? So the first thing is, if we put this quality management system in place and get certified, then we can win work with a particular customer, and that's lots of work that's very profitable. So it's really about reframing the question and saying, going back to the CEO. So the best way from a sales, so here's an example of where I think you guys need to learn parallel competencies. That question there tells me that you need to go and learn about selling. So what are the successful skills in sales? And I've been saying this for a long time. There's a book called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. In fact, here it is here on the shelf. Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Your job is to sell the CEO on implementing that quality management system. This is a great book on how to do that. Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. And that is going to tell you how to influence people. So what you're going to be going back to that CEO and saying, well, okay, to help me answer your question, how much do you think you're going to get as a return on this quality system? So, and they're going to be saying, oh, I haven't thought about that. It's okay, well, let's explore that. So what do you think the upside is of actually having a quality management system in place? And what do you think that's worth to the organization? And then you can map that back and you can say, well, we're going to make an investment in this system and I estimate it to be this much. And that's going to give you all those upsides. Where's the balance? You know, do those upsides outweigh the downsides, you know, from an investment perspective? You should never see an investment as a downside. You should be saying, I'm going to place a bet, I'm going to put some investment in, and we want to extract return. So you really got to be focusing on benefits. So the question is, what amazing benefits will that system bring to the organization? Not the features, not the funky little things you're going to do. You go to the CEO and you say, what are the amazing benefits that we can bring to the organization? Maybe the quality system will help us get that. Maybe there's another solution. There's never one solution to the problem. And so I don't want you guys to be fixated on ISO 9001 is the solution to this problem. That's why I'm reluctant to talk about this thing. You know, I can go really deep on ISO 9001, and I know you guys want more information on clauses and applicability of the clauses. I'm trying to get you guys to step back and look up and see that the world is bigger. There are other solutions to these problems. So what is the problem you're trying to solve? What is the job you're being paid to show up and do? And what are the amazing benefits that the organization is going to get? So go back to that CEO and say, right, I would like to have an open discussion around what some of the amazing benefits might be for us if we do this project. And I hope that helps. I know it's not I know you're looking for the tell me $100,000, but that's really the way you want to pitch that. I know it's harder, but when you put in hard work, you get amazing results. Go ahead, another question. We're all good. How are we going for time? We've got 10 minutes to go. Okay, a couple of things. Vanessa's gonna, I've got some more questions. Okay, so couple of things. There is a ebook link coming out for everybody. That's done, so Vanessa's posted that if you look in the comments. There's a couple of other great videos we've been dropping. There's lots of information coming out regarding the Best Practice 2020 Vision Summit that we ran. The reviews and the comments from everybody on that. I've got another question. I'll get to that in a second. So I want you guys to really be leaning into that and watching our social media. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, make sure you jump on LinkedIn, find Kobe Simmet, hit the follow button. So you're getting that comment, you're getting those commentary and updates from that summit. That's lots of free information that's going to be helping you on a day-by-day basis. Okay, a question from Tony. Keep these questions coming in. That's what I'm here for. Oh, sorry, the first one. Sorry for my intention about the business plan, but I believe that it's more important because it's the base and need to be completely sure. I agree, absolutely. Okay. I'll come back to, okay, so vision and mission. I want you guys, so the question there is about, could I repeat please the vision and mission? This book here, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. So the business plan should start with this, start with why, and go through this information and read this book by Simon Sinek. He's doing some live tours at the moment. I know he's touring in Australia. I know that the Sydney event is sold out, but there's an event down in Melbourne. We were literally just looking at it. So if you can get yourself to Melbourne or have a look at, just do a search for Simon Sinek. But your business plan should start with why, and this book helps you to identify that for the organization. Start with that, and then you can start to think about what your vision and mission is. He's got a second book here called Find Your Why, which is this one. These two go together. Start with why, find your why. So I want you guys to think about that. That's how you start the business plan. with that component. I hope that helps. We've also reviewed those books. We've certainly reviewed Start With Why in previous issues of our magazine, which used to be called Certified. So probably, let me have a quick look. Not that issue. Was it one after? So this one, no, I haven't got the other one up there. I don't think. No. Okay, so if you check out the magazine on our channel, on bestpracticeeducation.com.au, you will be able to download the magazines. We're actually in the process of bundling them all together, so you'll see that come out in the next week or so, but you can jump on and click those buttons. So that'll help you with the review of Start With Why. Question from Tony. How do you see the role of leaders in the creation, application, engagement and growth of health, safety, environment, quality systems and culture within an organisation? It's easy to commit, but it's much harder to follow through with. I absolutely agree. So what really we want to focus on there, Tony, is that we want to focus on the problem we're trying to solve. We are, as humans, we're too quick to jump into a solution. We literally react really quickly and go, oh, I know how to solve that. I'm going to solve the problem with health, safety, environment, quality systems. Instead of understanding that here's where we want to go, here's what we want to achieve. We want to prevent injuries and illness. We want to prevent fatalities. We want to have happy customers. Don't want to have an environmental impact. So health, safety, environment, quality. So, I think the Q needs to come first, just personally, because without customers and without cash flow, you don't have a business. So it's about, the quality system starts with, it's the mechanism to help us to deliver amazing service to our customers. And so, in terms of, how do you see the role of leaders in creation, application and engagement of health, safety, environment, quality systems? Start with why. I'll give you my script. Here at Best Practice, it's our vision to inspire organizations to improve and to continue to improve so they have a positive impact and add value to everybody in their life. And so that's our vision and mission. I always lead with that. So leaders need to start with why to be more effective. So Simon Sinek is impacting that. When you start with why, your message is more impactful. Then you might go on to say, and here's how we're going to do that. So it's the how. So it's the why, how, and what we do. But we spend a lot of time focusing on what. What we do is quality systems. What we do is this. Because then you'll put a thing up and you'll say, because here's the policy to follow. So I think as leaders, it's really important that it does go a lot back to the selection of people for your organization and then how you order your message. So focus less on what you're going to do and the mechanical steps and more on the leader saying, that's the direction we're going. Come on, everybody, let's go. Because we pay people, we pay employees, we have people in our organizations and they've got skills to come along and do their task along that journey. But maybe they're not doing it in the way that we want them to. And so we go and write documents and we build management systems to control what's going on. So 5 minutes to go, I'm getting the wind up. So what we want to basically be doing with the leadership is saying, here's where I'm going, who's coming with me, what are the challenges we might have along the way, because you guys can see, out the side windows of the bus and you can see things happening, but by and large, we're all going in the same direction. So I think the best thing for leaders is to be really clear on the vision and the mission, be building their communication skills. The most important thing from a leadership development perspective is to learn how to be a good communicator, how to use questions more effectively. I'm 44 years old and I'm only now, after running this business for 16 years, starting to learn how to be better at asking questions because I found that questions are more influential than statements. So I'm finding that if I ask questions, I get better results and people stop and think and go figure it out themselves. And then that helps us to scale and it helps to empower people. And so, I've been able to say that for years, but actually feeling it and understanding how to deploy it and getting better at it every day, I'm in a really significant growth area in my career right now in terms of empowering and scaling my people. So I think the best thing from a leader's perspective is to work out how you can empower and scale your people. Better leadership, be a better leader, be a better communicator, better at asking questions, better at maximizing impact and output from people around you, and then people will come into line. or be a dictator. And we know that having strict control, that it's not as effective as leading a crowd, if that makes sense. So there's different ways to achieve the outcome, and I'm a big advocate for really thinking about high quality leadership communication means you can have much smaller health, safety, environment, quality systems. Less detail, less documentation, more efficient, more agile, very lean, by having really great communication systems. So if you focus on how can we have really effective communication and messaging, then you won't need to have these huge systems, but you'll still have a system, because your system will be focused on great communication and less on routine and rigor and control and policing. Then you build a system. If you write lots and lots of rules, you got to police it, and that needs more resources. So it takes resources to write the rules, and it takes resources to police the rules. Well, why wouldn't we just motivate people to do the right thing in the first place? So motivation, inspiration, communication. And I think too many leaders focus too much on technical detail and not enough on being a great leader and being a happy person around their team and leading the culture. Culture starts with you, and you need to take 100% responsibility. And this, when I say you, I'm talking to every single person that's listening to this right now. It starts with you. You affect the market. You affect your team. And if you sit back and wait, I'm going to wait till someone else does it, and you blame other people, then really that is the culture. You set the culture. So what we really want to be doing is saying, I know that I affect it. I know that the leader sets the tone. And so the best way to manage culture and systems and process is to have really great, mindset and leadership. Now, here's one thing that I have to do. I need to have a clarity break. I need to have some downtime, and my calendar is typically booked back to back. Yesterday, Caitlin and I had a quick discussion about how can we actually cut every 1 hour meeting down to 30 minutes? Because then I can fit 16 meetings in a day instead of 8 meetings. Yesterday, I managed to fit 14 meetings from 4 a.m. till 8 p.m. That was my work day yesterday, 4 a.m. till 8:15, if you like. And I was literally fully booked for that whole time, from 4 a.m. in the morning in my calendar all the way through to 8 p.m. last night. And now we're starting to say, well, people say, oh, can I have a 1 hour meeting? It's like, no, you can have 30 minutes. Get done in 30 minutes what you need to get done. Now, I need to have, when I work that hard, I need to have a clarity break. So for me, yesterday afternoon, in my diary, there was a period of time to me to just stop and reset and actually look up and think. And then in 15 minutes before this webinar started, it was the same thing. So I think giving your leaders that sort of downtime and clear time so they can actually step back and say, hang on a minute, you do need to look out the windscreen and work out where you're going and look forward. And the leaders need an opportunity to get a bit of a clear view. And so I think there's two things there in terms of how we actually do that. Yeah, Barbara, it is too much, but that's my life right now. It's busy. Okay. Yeah, Barbara, communication is the key. Okay, thanks for the invitation to Chile. I've traveled extensively in Chile. I will definitely come back. Yes, when the coronavirus is ended. We will be in Los Angeles in September, definitely. There's a conference coming up, so I'll be back over on that side of the Pacific Ocean at that point in time. So yeah, guys, let me know where you're watching from. Could you let me know in the comments if this has been useful for everybody? If it has been useful, we need to start inviting more people to join, because I want to answer your questions. I want to unpack this stuff. So we'll deploy some of this. So any last questions? I just want to thank everybody for investing your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to invest in this live stream, invest in your time. I'm really grateful for your attention, and I hope I'm able to help. What's really important now is to really think about action points. So have a think about, like, stop for 5 or 10 minutes after this closes. Try not to get back to your busy life. Just stop and say, okay, what do I need from what I heard this morning? What do I need to listen to? What do I need to implement? What do I need to change? What can I focus on? Please do that. So if you guys could do that, like, take that time right now and stop and look and say, okay, I'm going to make this small change, because it's those small incremental changes every day that are really going to get you that outcome you're looking for. This has been recorded. It's sitting on our YouTube channel. You can share the link. So please go ahead and share that link. If there's any particular timestamps when you're sharing these links with people, they're probably not going to have the level of engagement involvement because they don't have the context. But if there's a specific thing that I said, you can fast forward and rewind to that particular point in time and please quote me on that. So these are your resources. This YouTube channel is your resource. You copy the link, share it via email around your organization. That's what I'm here for. Check out all the great courses that we've got on Best Practice Training Academy. We've got those sitting there. If you need support with recruitment, let us know. I can definitely help you with the winning formula for recruitment. You don't have to use our recruiters, but I can help you with recruitment, and we can start to talk about how to get great A players for your team. If you want to talk to our business coaching team, check out nextpracticeeducation.com.au. You can get to that website through bestpractice.biz. And if there's anything else, I would like some feedback. I know it's great to get the compliments, and I appreciate the compliments for the stuff we're doing really well, but I also want to help you. So I need you guys to be telling me what challenges you've got so I can build material, build content, build the skills to help you with those sorts of things. So yeah, Kylie, no problems at all. I'll start doing some live sessions on recruitment and the winning formula for recruitment, because it's predicated on systems. Like, we can bring order and we can build management systems, and then I can help you actually understand what the winning formula, procedure, policy is, results. So, okay, if there's no other questions, looks like the stream is getting choppy on the Wi-Fi. There's no other questions. Thanks everybody for joining us. This has been Ask Best Practice. My name's Kobe Simon. I'm the CEO here at Best Practice. Thanks everybody. I'm going to try to do this again in 2 weeks' time for you guys. So we'll send out the notification. We'll get a good cadence going, and we'll go from there. Yes, the books I was referencing. Take a screenshot of this. Start with why. We'll put them in the comments. Find your why. Sell or be sold by Grant Cardone. Screenshot that. There we go. So that was the question about the books, and we'll post the names of those books in the comments, and we'll email out everybody as well. Thanks for watching, Matt. We must be due for a catch up, Matt Jenkin. So excellent. So any other comments there? Massive thanks to Luke and Vanessa for looking after the technology, and I hope this live stream stuff is working for you guys, so let me know. And podcast. Yeah, don't forget to check out the Kobe Simon audio experience. It's on the Apple podcast. If you hit the purple button on your iPhone, being an Apple user, I know it's purple. I don't know what you get on an Android. So we've just been live on LinkedIn. We've just been live on Facebook. So those videos sitting there, and obviously live on YouTube. Check out the Kobe Simon audio experience. Luke will have that podcast up probably in the next 48 hours. It'll definitely be by the weekend. And hit me with questions. Just because I've stopped the live stream doesn't mean the questions need to stop. You can always direct message me on LinkedIn. Just look for my handle at Kobe Simmet. And if I don't see you out and about, I'll definitely see you next time right here on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.